March 18, 1945, mid-afternoon. Over the Rhineland, near a small German village. A P-51 Mustang streaks low across fields, engine roaring, but smoke trails from its cowling. Ground fire has crippled the aircraft. The pilot, Major Pierce McKinnon, squadron commander of the 357th Fighter Squadron, 4th Fighter Group, fights to keep control. His wingman, 2nd Lieutenant Royce Priest, circles above, watching in horror as McKinnon's Mustang bellies in, skids across a plowed field, and comes to rest. Amid rising dust, German troops, perhaps 50 soldiers with rifles and machine guns, converge from nearby woods and roads. McKinnon, injured and dazed, climbs from the cockpit, pistol in end, but he is outnumbered. Trapped, Priest receives the order over the radio. Return to base immediately. He ignores Italiano. Instead, he banks sharply, dives toward the field, wheels down, lands hard on the rough ground beside the wreck. Priest jumps out, runs to McKinnon, helps the injured major to his feet. "Germans close in," shouts echoing. "Reflis racid." Priest drags McKinnon back to his own P-51, a single-seat fighter designed for one man. No room for a passenger. No time to think. Priest climbs in first. McKinnon squeezes in on top. Legs crammed, body wedged against the canopy rail, arms around Priest's shoulders. The cockpit canopy won't close fully. Priest slams the throttle forward. The Merlin engine thunders. The overloaded Mustang rolls across the uneven field, bounces once, twice, lifts off just as German bullets snap past the wings. 2 men, 1 seat, 1 fighter, flying home through enemy skies. How does a single-seat P-51 carry 2 grown men? Take off under fire from 50 advancing soldiers and make it back to Allied lines without crashing. This is the incredible, rule-breaking rescue of a commander by his wingman, a moment of pure defiance against impossible odds, where loyalty and nerve turned a wrecked plane and a hopeless situation into escape. To grasp the weight of this incident, step back to the air war over Germany in March 1945. The Allies had crossed the Rhine in places, but German resistance remained fierce in pockets. The Luftwaffe was depleted, but ground anti-aircraft fire 88mm guns, 20mm, flak. Machine guns remained deadly for low-flying Allied fighters on strafing and armed reconnaissance missions. The 4th Fighter Group, one of the most famous units in the 8th Air Force, flew P-51, the Mustang's long-range escorts that had helped win air superiority. The P-51, powered by the Rolls-Royce Merlin V1650, engine 1,490 horsepower, armed with 6.50 caliber Browning machine guns, and capable of over 440 miles per hour, was the premier fighter of the war. But it was strictly a single-seat aircraft cockpit designed for 1 pilot, no provision for passengers. Major Pierce McKinnon, a veteran pilot with multiple victories, led missions deep into Germany. On this day, his P-51 was hit by accurate ground fire. During a low-level attack, he crash-landed in enemy territory. 2nd Lieutenant Royce Priest, his wingman, was under strict orders. Do not land in enemy areas to rescue downed pilots. The risk of capture or death was too high, and resources were stretched. The event mattered because downed pilots behind lines faced grim fates: immediate capture, interrogation, or death from hostile forces. Many evaded or were rescued by ground parties, but air rescue was rare and risky. Priest's decision to disobey orders and land, then improvise a two-man takeoff, was extraordinary. The P-51's cockpit was tight. Narrow seat, high instrument panel, limited headroom. Fitting two men meant extreme discomfort, one pilot flying, the other perched on his lap or wedged sideways. Arms around shoulders, legs folded. Canopy partially open, weight was over limit. Center of gravity shifted dangerously aft. Takeoff run longer, climb sluggish. The Merlin engine provided enough power margin to lift the overload if conditions were right. Smooth field, full throttle, no wind. The aircraft's durability, strong wing, robust landing gear helped during the rough takeoff roll. German troops closing in added seconds of terror. Rifles and machine guns firing at close range could shred fuel tanks or controls. This rescue highlighted the bonds between pilots. Wingmen literally watching each other's backs. It also showed the P-51's versatility under extreme conditions. Priest flew the overloaded fighter back across the front lines, evading flak and potential interceptors, to land safely at an Allied airfield in France. McKinnon survived his injuries. Priest faced disciplinary review for twice disobeying orders, landing and attempting the rescue, but his actions saved a life and became legend in fighter group lore. March 18, 1945. Approximately 15:30 hours. Rhineland countryside, near a small German village. The sky is overcast, the ground muddy from recent rain. Major Pierce McKinnon's P-51 Mustang gripes a mighty, trails smoke from the engine nacelle. After taking accurate 20mm flak fire during a low-level strafing run, the Rolls-Royce Merlin engine coughs, oil pressure drops. McKinnon fights the controls, lowers the nose, and bellies the fighter in across a plowed field. The Mustang skids, tears up soil, and stops hard against a low embankment. Dust and smoke rise. McKinnon, dazed and bleeding from a head wound, kicks open the canopy, climbs out with his .45 pistol in hand, hit among troops about 50 soldiers from a nearby infantry unit. Converge from woods and a dirt road. Reefless and MP-40 submachine guns come up. Shouts in German echo across the field. McKinnon takes cover behind the wing, ready to fight. Above, Second Lieutenant Royce Priest circles in his own P-51D, Little Mac. The radio crackles. Return to base. Immediately. Do not attempt to rescue. Priest ignores the order. He banks sharply, drops flaps, lowers gear, and dives toward the field. Bullets snap past his canopy as German troops open fire on the descending fighter. Priest flatties touches down hard on the uneven ground, bounces once, rolls to a stop 20 yards from McKinnon's wreck. Priest kills the engine, pops the canopy, jumps to the ground. He sprints to McKinnon, helps the major to his feet. "Come on, sir, we're getting out of here." McKinnon, injured but conscious, nods. German soldiers close to within 200 yards, rifles cracking, bullets kicking dirt around them. Priest carries McKinnon back to his P-51. The cockpit is built for one. Narrow seat, high instrument panel, limited legroom. No time for debate. Priest climbs in first, straps the shoulder harness loosely. McKinnon squeezes in on top, legs folded awkwardly, body wedged sideways against the right side of the cockpit, arms wrapped around Priest's shoulders for stability. The canopy cannot close fully. It rests half up. McKinnon's head is pressed near the left side, his injured arm tucked against his chest. The combined weight is far over the aircraft as Intermodaliment's center of gravity shifted dangerously aft. Elevator authority reduced. Priest hits the starter. The Merlin roars awake, 1,490 horsepower shaking the airframe. He advances the throttle slowly at first, then slams it forward. The P-51 begins to roll across the muddy field. German fire intensifies. Bullets punch through the left wing, splinter the canopy rail, ricochet off the armored seat back. Priest keeps the stick neutral, lets the tail rise slowly. The overloaded Mustang accelerates sluggishly, wheels churning mud. At the far end of the field, a low hedge looms. Priest pulls back, gently. The nose lifts, the gear struts extend to their limit. The P-51 staggers airborne, barely clearing the hedge. Bullets continue to snap past one, tears through the rudder. Another punctures the fuselage. Priest banks left sharply, stays low, uses terrain to mask from ground fire. He climbs slowly, airspeed building as the Merlin strains under the extra load. McKinnon, wedged in tightly, manages to speak. "Keep her steady, son. We'll make it." They fly west, toward Allied lines, 50 miles away. Priest keeps altitude low, -500 feet, to avoid radar and flak batteries. The P-51 handles sluggishly. Trim required heavy forward pressure on the stick. Fuel burns faster than normal, but the tanks hold. No pursuing German fighters appear. The Luftwaffe is nearly grounded by this stage of the war. After 40 minutes of tense flight, they cross the front lines. American anti-aircraft gunners track them but hold fire when they recognize the P-51 silhouette. Priest spots an Allied airstrip in France, lines up, lowers gear, and flaps. The overloaded aircraft touches down, hard wheels slam into the perforated steel matting. Bounces once, rolls out. Priest brakes hard, taxis to a stop near the tower. Ground crew rush forward, rifles ready until they see 2 American flight suits in the cockpit. Priest kills the engine. McKinnon climbs out first, legs numb, supported by waiting medics. Priest follows, hands shaking from the strain of holding the stick steady for the entire flight. The P-51 stands with fresh bullet holes, canopy rail scarred, but otherwise intact. McKinnon is taken to the aid station. Priest reports to operations, knowing disciplinary action awaits for disobeying orders. During the takeoff roll, German troops close to within 100 yards, MP-40s and Kar-98K rifles, firing in bursts. Bullets strike the P-51 repeatedly. One punctures the left wing tank, but does not ignite. Another tears a long gash in the rudder fabric. Priest keeps the throttle wide open, the Merlin screaming at full boost. The overloaded aircraft accelerates slowly, tail reluctant to rise. At the moment the wheels leave the ground, a burst of fire rakes the fuselage. Shrapnel peppers the cockpit. A round clips the canopy rail inches from McKinnon's head. The P-51 staggers into the air, barely clearing a line of trees at the field's edge. Priest banks hard left, drops the nose to gain speed, uses the terrain to shield from ground fire. The aircraft wallows aft. Center of gravity makes it pitch sensitive, requiring constant forward pressure on the stick. McKinnon, wedged in painfully, braces himself against the instrument panel, helping Priest maintain control by shifting weight slightly when needed. The Merlin runs hot oil temperature, climbing, but holds. They fly west at low level, skimming fields and villages. Priest avoids roads where flak might be waiting. The overloaded P-51 cleaves only 1,000 feet before Priest levels off, any higher risks stalling. Fuel consumption is high. Priest leans the mixture carefully to stretch the tanks. No German fighters intercept. The Luftwaffe presence is minimal by March 19. After crossing the front, Allied ground forces spot the P-51, a familiar silhouette despite the low altitude and partial canopy. Anti-aircraft crews hold fire. Priest finds the airstrip, aligns with the perforated steel runway. Touchdown is firm. The extra weight compresses the gear struts. Tires screech on metal. The aircraft rolls out safely. Medics take McKinnon immediately for treatment. His head wound is serious, but not life-threatening. Priest stands beside the P-51 as ground crew inspect the damage. Dozens of bullet holes, rudder fabric shredded, one tire leaking air. The aircraft is flyable but grounded for repairs. Priest faces immediate questioning, twice disobeying orders. First landing in enemy territory, then attempting the rescue. He accepts responsibility calmly. McKinnon, from the aid station, vouches for him. He saved my life. I'd do the same. No formal charges are filed. The act is quietly recognized within the group as extraordinary loyalty. Priest receives a commendation, but no formal medal for the rescue itself. The lesson is profound. In war, rigid orders can conflict with human bonds. Priest's decision, defying protocol to save his commander, succeeded through exceptional piloting, the P-51's power margin, and sheer nerve. The single-seat fighter became a two-man escape vehicle because one man refused to leave another behind. They returned together, alive, when both could have been lost. Second Lieutenant Royce Priest stood beside his P-51 Mustang on the perforated steel runway in France that afternoon in March 1945. The aircraft was scarred, bullet holes through the wings, rudder fabric torn, canopy rail gouged, but it had carried two men home. Major Pierce McKinnon had already been carried away to the aid station, his head wound bandaged, his legs still unsteady from being crammed into the cockpit for 40 minutes. Priest watched the stretcher disappear into the tent, then turned back to the fighter that had refused to quit. Ground crew walked around the plane, counting the damage, shaking their heads. The single-seat cockpit, never meant for two grown men, had held them both. One flying, the other wedged on top, arms locked around the pilot's shoulders, legs folded into impossible angles. The Merlin engine had run hot under the overload. The center of gravity pushed dangerously aft. Yet Priest had kept it steady, kept it climbing, kept it flying through enemy territory until Allied lines appeared below. Word spread quickly through the 4th Fighter Group. Pilots who had heard the radio calls, the order to return to base. The silence that followed gathered around Priest when he reached operations. He reported matter-of-factly. Landed in enemy territory. Extracted the major. Took off under fire. Flew home. Overloaded. No excuses. No drama. The group commander listened. Face unreadable. Disobeying orders twice, on set to land once to attempt the rescue, could have meant court. Instead, the matter was handled quietly. No charges were filed. McKinnon, recovering in the hospital tent, sent word. He saved my life. I'd have done the same. Priest received no formal medal for the rescue itself. The act was acknowledged within the unit as one of extraordinary loyalty and skill. But the record remained simple. One P-51 returned with 2 pilots when it should have returned with 1. McKinnon healed, returned to duty, continued flying until the end of the war. Priest flew more missions, survived, went home. The P-51 that carried them both was repaired patches over bullet holes, new rudder fabric, fresh paint, and flew again. It became just another Mustang in the group's line. Eventually retired or scrapped when the war ended, but the story stayed, passed quietly among fighter pilots. The day a wingman refused to leave his commander behind. The day a single-seat fighter became a 2-man escape vehicle. The day rules were broken and 2 lives were saved. This is not a tale of medals or headlines. It is one of quiet defiance of the bond between men who fly together and watch each other's backs. Priest did not ask for permission to land. He did not calculate the odds of takeoff. With an extra 180 pounds of man wedged into the cockpit, he simply acted because leaving McKinnon was not an option. The overloaded Mustang lifted. The engine held. The bullets missed what mattered. They made it home together. In war, orders are necessary. But so is the human decision to say no when the moment demands it. That choice, one seat, two men, one flight, carried them through fire and back to safety. I've just said what's recorded in history. You should find out the real truth yourself. We have written the sources from which we got this story in the description of this video. And we have always been and will be supporters of the oppressed, regardless of their color, race, or country. This world and its creator are also with the oppressed. If this story of loyalty, a one-seat escape, and a rule-breaking rescue hit you hard, smash that like button. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Would you have landed for your wingman? And subscribe for more forgotten World War II stories. Hit the bell so you never miss the next WW2 story.